I think we can be seen.
Hi!
Hi guys.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Kitt Nyang'aya. This is Joanne.
I'm Joanne Muni.
AKA Yummy Mommy.
That's me.
If you're not following her on Instagram, who are you following?
Exactly. Do you have Instagram?
Okay, anyway, continue. So today we're doing a mukbang.
Is it said mukbang or mukbang? Because I've seen people saying mukbang, I've seen mukbang.
I'm going to say mukbang.
I think
because I don't think it's mukbang.
Yeah,
I think that's an American.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
variation.
mukbang.
So today we're going to do a mukbang, and we're going to talk about unpopular opinions about marriage. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to smash a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. Let's get into it.
And in case you don't know what a mukbang is, it's where we talk and we eat at the same time.
So we have a tuna and avocado salad.
And then here, this is a sailor's chicken salad.
And we have some prawns.
Oh my god, I can't wait. Oh,
can they see that?
So yummy, yes, I think they can see
okay,
that.
and
sweet potato crisps.
And some brownies. So these are gluten-free brownies. I don't know if they're sugar-free, but they are like delish for days.
Yeah.
Days.
Yum. Okay.
Right.
Tupakue kwanza.
Yeah, let's do it.
In
fact, I want to really start there. In fact,
actually, this is the most important place to. So you made them yourself? These?
I did.
Oh, I don't know. I assumed you were going to buy them.
From where? You can never buy enough prawns.
That's the thing.
You can never buy enough. You'll go pay that same because this was like 1800. You go pay that and you'll be given 6 prawns. I've
actually never gone anywhere where they have served prawns and I'm like, this is enough.
Never.
Actually, you can never bakisha prawns.
Never.
I always see bakisha prawns.
Never.
Impossible.
Hey, I'm doing a fish overload.
Ooh. Guys, my salad has like lettuce, onions, cherry tomatoes, and the onions are caramelized butternut, apples.
Mine has tuna, avocado, brown rice, red cabbage, some nori, some...
What is nori?
Seaweed.
Oh, nice. The way you post about this salad all the time, now I must taste it because for me to know.
If you do not eat this salad, are you listening?
Okay.
Okay.
If I do not eat that salad.
And lettuce.
And lettuce. Okay. This salad is actually an enormous portion of salad. Yeah.
When they serve it to you in the shop, you'll be like, when did we begin fighting?
I know. Like, why are we
fighting? Okay. So I have been married 9 years.
I have been married 3.5 years.
And with as many children. I have 2 children.
I have 3 children.
I already told them with as many children.
Oh yes, actually. Yeah, although 1 child was born before I got married, but you know, there are 3. We have 3 kids. And marriage has been quite a journey. I would say marriage has been quite a journey. I can actually comfortably say that marriage is the single most difficult and fun thing that I have ever done in my life.
And the way your story is like night and day to mine.
Actually, yeah.
Because I was dating my husband for 6 years before we got married. So I met him in high school. So I've known him half my life. Yeah. Wow. You've known your husband for as long as you've been married.
We started dating March 2016. We got married March 2017. So literally exactly a year from when we got married, from when we started dating to when we got married. It's interesting you should say about high school sweethearts because one of my unpopular opinions is to do with high school sweethearts. Let's
get into it. I'm happy. Yeah, we'll still be friends. Let's get into it.
All right. So these are some of unpopular opinions which we can discuss. We haven't discussed them before this, so this is like completely raw.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
First one.
Yes.
You can be a feminist and submit to your husband at the same time.
Look at me.
Look at us. Look at us.
And people always ask me, Kitt, I don't think you're a feminist, but in a good... I don't think you're submissive, but in a good way.
I think when people say that in a good way, like, don't take it badly, but... Even me, how many people are always telling me, oh, Zach looks so mpole. I can't believe... Zach is my husband, in case you don't know. I can't believe... I'm sure you're the one who's always wronging him. Oh, yeah, I'm like... First of all, I can see where you're coming from, but it's offensive when you say that to somebody
It's really
because you don't know
offensive.
me, you don't know my marriage, you don't know, like,
Yeah.
this is a very touchy issue. But I feel like, I don't know why I feel like people in our generation, the whole idea of being submissive has been really misinterpreted.
No, being submissive, they see it as being subjugate. What's it called? Like being a subordinate.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Like he's above me,
he's above you.
You listen to everything he says.
You obey.
You obey.
Like a child.
Which is not what submission is. And I think if people took the time to actually read through what the Bible means when it says that, you'll understand that it's actually more powerful.
It's
to
a
be submissive.
very powerful thing to be submissive. Martin is my husband. He was created in the image of God. I was created in the image of God. I think many people will have you believe that I was created in the image of Martin's rib. Absolutely not. I have to be a helper fit for him. When I'm waiting on him to tell me stuff and push me around like a wheelbarrow, I'm not being a helper fit for him. I'm just being a doormat. I'm using his head to run my show. That is intellectual infidelity. You better stop that.
Can I write that down? Because wow. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Me, I personally just see submission as like, it's like I the more my husband feels like I respect him, I look to him for guidance, look to him for things, the more he sort of like has a softness towards me. That softness of like, I need to protect her, I need to do what's best for her, I need to ensure that her needs are met. And in that like symbiotic relationship, everyone wins.
Because that's words now, eh?
Hey, you know, symbiotic. You already came here with intellectual infidelity. I had no choice. I had no choice. Kitt. But yeah, that's how we agree on it. Okay, feminism, submission can coexist. Yes, exactly. Next one.
Let me do one.
Okay, fine, do one.
And this is going to be you're going to cry.
I'm already crying because of how good these prawns are.
Damn. Look. And I wish I had gotten the raw ones. I got the cooked ones, then I just threw them around in butter. I wish I had gotten the raw ones. Women, you do not have to fight in your marriage for the marriage if you're fighting by yourself. Let me tell you how women glamorize suffering.
Yeah.
Your husband is cheating on you, you're fighting for the marriage. Your husband is using all your money for whatever it is without wisdom, you're fighting for the marriage. Your husband is beating you, you're fighting for the marriage. Your husband is, you're fighting for the marriage. You, by the way, your husband doesn't care if the marriage continues or not, but you're fighting on your own.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I slightly disagree with that because,
oh my God.
and this is maybe, I know, so good. This is a lesson that I think maybe I have picked from my parents' marriage and just like literature on marriage is that there are times in relationships where one party is going through things that do not allow them to show up the way you need them to show up in the marriage.
Yeah,
that's different from at most disrespect and like completely like I'm beating you.
Absolutely.
And whatever, you know,
we are
kind
together.
of thing. Yeah, but there are times that maybe someone is not able, is just not able. For example, men tie a lot of like their worth from work. Imagine your man loses his job, he has no money all of a sudden, they're all dependent on you. He wouldn't be the same Martin. No, he definitely wouldn't be. And now the person who you've been interacting with, who is kind and who is whatever,
generous,
he might not be. So at that, there are sometimes in a marriage that I think you need to be the rock. You need to be the rock. Obviously, it should not be a situation which now demeans you as a human being, that affects your mental health and, you know, makes you depressed. But there are times that you might need to be the rock. There are times that he might need to be the rock. For example, even when you're...
Absolutely.
Exactly, right? It's like, for example, I feel like when you're pregnant, or at least me when I was pregnant, parenting was like a... what? I get home, I'm just in the bed. I'm just like, don't expect me to bathe no child. Don't expect me to take any child to bed.
Do you see what I'm doing here?
Exactly.
I'm growing a whole entire human being.
Exactly. So times like that, then I feel like sometimes you need to fight. But obviously there needs to be a time period. Like you're not going to now be unemployed for 5 years. And I'm just like, you're struggling, you're not putting in any effort, you know, whatever. There has to be a time period. There has to be still a sense of mutual respect at the least. Mutual respect, and like, I know this person still loves me, but he's going through something. Not every day. Kitt, you're so stupid, you're so ugly. Why are you like
now you see, that is what women fight for.
Yeah, and
like, why
that's
are you fighting for that?
Mm.
You're fighting to stay in that situation. We're saying the same thing.
And that leads me to my next. Oh no. Kitt, ukifanya hivyo tena nitakuchapa. That brings me to my next unpopular opinion, which I think is a very important one and ties to that. Marriages end and it's okay. Divorces should not be considered shameful. They should not be considered embarrassing. They should not be considered like so crazy that you can't even imagine. Like what kind of a woman can let go of her marriage? Marriages end, guys. Like sometimes. Do you know
that marriage is a relationship?
Yeah.
And not a prison.
Exactly.
So many of you are in committee.
The thing is that it should be considered more shameful for you to be remaining in a relationship where you're unhappy, where you're abused, where clearly things are just not working. That should be shameful. That should be shameful. Treating women and men who are divorced as like as pariahs, like you now.
First of all, who treats divorced men as pariahs? Why are you talking about
women?
Just say it straight.
Bas.
Like as if I'm supposed to be able to keep a man like a pet. And if he leaves, he leaves, not I leave. If he leaves, I failed.
Exactly. And we need to, please, let's normalize having conversations around it's okay to get a divorce. It's okay that you tried and it didn't work out. Of course, when people always come to ask me and they are married and they have an issue, if you're in a relationship, there are some things which I'm just like, your boyfriend cheated on you, leave now. I don't see why you're still dating that person. When someone is married, my first thing is not always leave.
Go a bit slower.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay,
consider a lot of things.
Yeah, have we done this? Have we done this? You need to actually, in our conflict resolution class that Zach and I took, they said by the time you are saying that this thing needs to end, you have to have exhausted all possible opportunities for you to resolve it, whether or not you are wronged or you are the one who did the wrong.
Do everything,
absolutely everything, and as quickly as possible, because the more time that passes, the worse the thing gets. But if you have reached the end and you're like, you've tried everything, you've tried therapy, you've tried like literally everything, it's fine. It doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you a bad human being. It doesn't make you less of a woman. The marriage can end and it's fine.
Absolutely.
I
agree.
Give us another one, Kitt.
Yes, please.
This food is slapping. Oh, it's slapping. What?
I'm even wondering how we are talking.
I'm actually very impressed.
It's because we talk a lot.
I know.
So we are just.
I'm very impressed with myself. It's so good.
Come, we stay.
Okay, you are one of my points.
Is not a wise choice.
Okay,
I don't know how to
come
tell
you.
You.
It's not a marriage. Just what I said. Come we stay is not a marriage. We have kids together is not a marriage. I've met his parents is not a marriage.
Guys,
being together 10 years is not a marriage.
Okay, guys.
I don't know.
How do we tell you? And you know what? Let me say this. Let me also like argue with myself, because you cannot fool God. You can't fool God. So if you have two people have come together and have prayed and have said, this is our relationship, this is what we're going to do, blah 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 blah. You can't, that for you, for in God's eyes, you're married. But God is not going to be the judge in, what's that place called? Upper Hill.
Upper Hill court.
When you no longer choose to be with this person, even you, the way you will leave that person is not like the way you leave somebody who you're married to.
Exactly. And if they die,
the way you will leave that person, or if they die, there are people, because marriage as well is many families coming together, two families coming together. There are people will not consider you theirs.
Absolutely. I just like, every time I put this up on my Instagram, there'll always be people saying, but marriage is not the end goal for everyone. But not everyone wants to get married.
Nobody's talking about that.
Exactly.
We're not telling you you have to get married.
Exactly.
Please.
Me personally, with the amount of messages I get from people who have suffered as a result of being in come we stay relationships, it's enough for me to say this is not a good idea.
This is bad.
Why? One, mismatched expectations. If you're both getting into it knowing me, but I don't want to marry you, you don't want to marry me, okay, fine.
Okay, fine.
But more often than not, that's not the case. The woman will be like, yeah, no, holding hope, and then someone will be like, 10 years later, he's not proposed.
But sis,
exactly. Or you go in and you're like, oh, I got pregnant. But then when you're pregnant, doesn't mean it's not actually now you're pregnant, you must move in with him. That's
you know what my mom
told
me?
Not a must.
When if you do get pregnant, Kitt, before you get married, wait until you have the baby and see if that person still wants to marry you.
Yeah.
Don't marry when you're pregnant. Don't marry when you're not the way you did.
Of Okay. As we were already engaged.
You were already there.
You were close.
You were already there. But don't marry because you are pregnant.
Exactly.
The world teaches men to blame women for trapping them into relationships with babies. Like as if men have ever been trapped.
Ever. Anyway.
Men live entire families with 5 children.
I know.
So I don't understand this whole thing of trapping. Yeah. There's a mutual acquaintance of mine. Not a mutual. There's an acquaintance of mine who was advised to trap her boyfriend because he was not committing. He was here, there, nini. So she was advised to have a baby. My friend.
How is that going for her?
First of all, the guy came to visit her with gifts for the baby with his girlfriend.
Oh no, I was not prepared for that. That calls for some sweet potato crisp because damn. Wow.
I was like this.
You guys have not seen those stories of people, like literally the man is living with you, he has a whole other family. A whole other family.
Gosh.
So what we are saying is do come stay at your own risk, but don't say Kitt and Joanne have not told you. Next, unpopular opinion. No marriage is broken by a third party.
Listen to me.
That woman did not break.
Don't call her. Don't pick up your phone and call her and tell her to leave your husband alone. If she leaves him alone, somebody else will pick him up because he's trash. He's recyclable.
Look at the person who has made a vow to you. That is the person who has broken the vow. This other person, it could be anyone. Right now, today it's Shiko, tomorrow it will be Anyango, and the next day it will be Jane. Alright? So that person is not breaking your marriage. Your husband.
Stop calling other people who are not in the marriage home breakers. They're not.
Yeah. I actually really don't like that thing, home wrecker. Like if you're married to someone and you cheat, you are the home wrecker.
Are the home wrecker.
You are the home wrecker. Thank you.
You.
Do you have another one? I continue.
I do. I have another one. What was it? Marriage is not the goal. It's not an accomplishment. It's not a prize.
It's the beginning.
A husband is not a prize. Me, I'm married.
I managed to get a husband. I was able to get a husband.
How come we don't see men doing that, by the way? Me, I'm married, now I'm ABCD. Oh, come
because
on.
Society trains us from the time you're born, you're preparing to be a good wife.
Princess over
there. That's why you're learning how to cook. That's why you're learning
how to be chosen. Pick me mentality.
Exactly. Girls are being taught how to be good wives. Men are just being taught how to have fun. Here's how you do this. Here's how you climb trees. Here's how you kill things with rocks. You what? Yeah, you're being taught how to cook, how to wash, how to take care of the man that is going to eventually
and future children
choose you. Exactly. Just what you're saying. Exactly. Actually, I in our conflict class, I love this conflict class, by the way. So many people need to do it. Check out Wamboye, Ernest Wamboye on Instagram. He's a fantastic marriage therapist, and he writes books, he gives talks, he's amazing. He told us that one of the biggest causes of conflict in marriage is because when women enter marriage, for them it's like, okay, now I'm ready. No, for them they're like, now I'm ready, let's start. Now they are gearing up. So it's like I've been training my whole life for this. Now I'm ready, let's do it. For men, once they get married, they're like,
they've reached.
Made it. Yeah, exactly. Now we have the wife here. That's why women are like, but you don't take me out anymore. You don't do this. Because women is like, yeah, but see, now we're already married.
The end goal.
Exactly. And for women, it's like the other way around. It's that now we're together. Oh my God, now we can have sex all the time. Now we can go on dates. Now we can do this. And then it causes like a whole shift. And then he took us through this whole cycle of like, now the woman is here, the guy is here. Then she decides, okay, now she gets a baby. And then the affection changes, goes to the baby. Then the man now starts craving the affection. And then she gets a second baby, and the second baby is more to him. Like it was a whole scientific thing. But anyway, point is marriage is not an achievement. You've not achieved anything. Anybody can find someone. Anybody. If Hitler had a wife, dude, whomst are you? Whomst are you? Okay, it's not an achievement. Anybody can find a husband. We said what we said with my sweet potato crisps in my mouth. We said what we said. Whomst are you? Next one.
Yeah.
Marriage sex is not boring. does not have to be boring.
First of all, now that you have said that, let's do the two together. Because mine is, you don't have to be ready for sex every day, even if you don't feel like.
Okay, me personally, I don't know if I agree with that one.
You think you should be ready for sex even when you don't feel like?
We are constantly telling people that feelings pass, right? So me not feeling like doesn't mean that I can't have sex. Yeah. I personally, my view is that
because the entire bridal shower market is be a sex goddess of some kind, regardless of personal well-being.
Okay, me my approach to sex like is this. Okay?
Yes.
This is my approach to sex. I feel like there are of course maybe sometimes that you just absolutely can't, like maybe you're rushing somewhere or maybe you're in pain or something like that. But for the most part, I never say no to sex with my husband. I never say no. What I always tell myself is that right now I don't feel like doing it. But hardly ever in the middle, by the time the penetration has started, are you just like, oh, I don't want this. Like, sex is one of those things that now once you start,
you're into it.
Exactly. And I realize that sometimes, especially when like we've cosanad or like maybe things are not going well at work, I have a tendency to just be like, no, I don't want to. But yet the thing is that there's something about the sexual experience that brings you closer together in that moment. There's also the endorphins, there's also the feeling released, also feeling the whatever. So I know at the end of it, I will feel better. It's kind of just like working out. At the beginning, when you're heading to the gym, you're just like, oh my God,
I just had to be in my
like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm doing it. By the end, you're like, I'm really glad I worked out. That's my approach to sex. That being said, I don't feel like anyone should force anyone else to have sex if they don't want to. And I feel like if you really just don't want to, you should have the right and you should have the ability to just say no to your husband. But me, what I'm personally advising
without guilt
and without
fear of persecution. And fear of he'll sleep with a maid.
Okay, that one, that's
because that's what women put out for. If he's not getting it from you every day, morning and evening and lunchtime, he will sleep with somebody else. So your motivation is not to be intimate with your husband. Your motivation is to be a police,
to make sure that he doesn't sleep with anyone else. But then he can come from having sex with you this morning and 2 minutes later he's Lucy in the office
on my channel.
Sorry,
that kind of language
in coitus, engaging in coitus with Lucy at the office. Sorry, kids, mom, please censor. I just want you to understand that it's nothing about what you're doing or not doing that will make your husband cheat on you. Okay, it's like if he's a cheater, he will cheat. Whether or not you're giving sex day, morning, lunchtime, and nighttime.
It doesn't matter.
What I don't advocate for is like when a woman is just constantly saying no, or when a man is constantly saying no, because it can be both ways. Because I feel like
what's the point of like monogamy is you get all your needs met by one person. But if that one person is always saying no, like what are you left with? You're in a hard place. You're in a difficult place. You're actually like being abused. I don't have to say being abused, but it sort of is.
I mean, if it's something that someone can take you to court for, then
they
exactly.
Which they can,
exactly. I said on my Instagram the other day that when we were giving our vows, one of our vows that we gave is everything I am, I give to you. Everything I have, I share with you. And that means that my body is mine, obviously, but in the context of marriage, God has said two have become one, which is why you're free to be naked around your husband, which is why he can touch you without necessarily saying, right now, Kit, can I please touch your buttocks? And then proceed to touch your buttocks. Like you know that he's not, he cares about you the way he cares about his own body. So I always feel like Zach he doesn't have a right to my body, but he has a right to my body because I have given it to him. So I don't want putting that barrier of like now sometimes I've decided like no. And especially when you fight, because withholding intimacy, withholding affection,
that's what we do. That's what we do on a regular.
Right.
It's not right. It's
not right. The best sex happens when we're fought. It's so good.
Noted. So, and then what you were saying, marriage sex is not boring. There's a study that I read, when was it? Oh man, I'm going to look for the study and put it here. But it said that married people have more sex than single people. Because single people have to look for the sex. You actually have to go out, tune someone, agree, have sex. Married people, the sex is literally the sex partner is in your car with you as you drive to work.
Exactly.
So married people actually have more sex than
And just
single
because you're
people.
having sex with the same person, yeah.
It's married sex is not boring. Yeah. Unless you're a boring person. If you're a boring person, if you're a boring person and that's what you enjoy, please, by all means, nobody's judging you. It's just like, go do your boring things that you want. But if you're an interesting person, I'm a very interesting person. Joanne is very interesting. We have interesting sex. Period.
Actually, yeah. I feel like anything can be boring. Anything in life can be boring.
Anything. Even marriage can be boring.
Exactly. It's up to you to actually make the thing interesting.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, obviously, if you're having sex with the same person every day and it's always in this bed, you have to find ways to make it exciting. Like, I try different things, and do like whatever. Like, what are you doing to spice the things up? But it doesn't have to be boring.
No.
It definitely doesn't have. I personally don't have boring sex, you know.
I don't
Are
have
you
boring.
having boring sex? No?
I am not.
Yeah.
I'm not having boring sex.
So we are testament, and this is 3 years in, this is 8 years in.
9
years in. Look at God. Another one to do with sex. Now let me just throw this one in.
Yeah.
Sex does not equal intimacy. Intimacy does not equal sex, even in marriage.
I don't think the people in the back have heard.
Sex does not equal. Yeah, there are times when Zach and I, our intimacy has been very low because we are going through issues or something like that, or trust has been broken, and we are still having a lot of good sex. And there are times when we haven't been having sex, like for example, like just about to give birth, or just after giving birth, we haven't had sex for a long time, but you still feel very, very intimately connected to the other person.
Yeah.
And both those things are really important to be. Both of them are very important. Sex is important. Intimacy is important.
Yes.
You can have both. Sex can also obviously amplify intimacy, but it's not the only thing.
No.
Yeah.
It is not.
It is not.
Are you going to taste this salad?
I would like to,
Let me taste this one of yours. Taste this.
It's quite nice, but I don't like beetroot, so I'm here trying to pick out the beetroot.
As in your plate looks like a...
And the apples. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You don't like apples?
Not in salad.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry.
Like what do you mean?
Don't kick me out of the video. I'm sorry.
This is so good.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I really like that. I love that. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah! It's like your Mukhen. You know when Mukhen is trying to eat food? My 3-year-old daughter. She's always doing this 1,000 times and nothing is on her fork. So I just help her put the thing on.
That's exactly what she just did to me.
Exactly.
So you've just treated me like a 3-year-old.
Yes.
You know I'm older than you. Can you respect your elders?
Are you older than me?
I'm 34.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We'll have to check about this later. Okay, next unpopular opinion. Let's do a couple more, guys.
Yeah.
Next unpopular opinion. There is no set amount of time you need to date for you to get married.
Then let me tell you. So my sister was saying
Oh my
that
God.
people, right?
It's so good. It's a party in my mouth.
What did I tell you?
Have I tasted some chili? Babe, what's that?
I don't know if there's chili in this, but this salad, like it's so boring. I'm so
Wow,
I
this is
order it
a party in my mouth,
the
guys.
time.
Tuna avo salad from Roro's, would highly recommend. Whoa. Wow, I actually was not expecting that. It doesn't look as good as it tastes.
Look as good as it tastes.
It's so good.
So good.
Wow.
It's so good. Yeah, so Tawi was telling me there's a way that people have a badge of honor. Like I've been dating him 10 years and so
yeah.
It doesn't matter. You've been married 3 years and you dated him for
1 year.
4 months.
Okay, calm down.
But you dated him for 4 months and then you got engaged.
It's true, 5. Anyway, I have 2 cousins and here we are still prospering. I have 2 cousins who had been dating their boyfriends, actually their sisters, had been dating their boyfriends 10 years, got married, was split up within a year. Yeah. And from what they said, they're like the guys, they just changed.
How?
Like this guy was amazing when they were dating. Now afterwards, he would just never come home. Now they got 2 little girls.
Did they used to live together?
No, they didn't.
In the 10 years?
Yeah, in the 10 years they never lived together.
So he never actually was going home.
Yeah.
You just didn't know about it.
Maybe.
Lord,
and like now he's just, in fact, he became abusive. He would beat her. I'm like, actually sometimes I really feel like in 10 years you never saw anything like that. In 10 years you never saw something.
I don't know if
and then now he abandoned the children and now just like he's not.
What?
Yeah. No.
So in the 10 years you were there, you're a father to the children, and then when we got married you were not.
Yeah. The kids were not there before. The kids came when they got married.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I think maybe sometimes a guy just is so used to how things were when it was just fun dating, just the two of us not living together, that now this whole like adjustment to like we are married and they are kids and we have responsibilities and we are together all the time, maybe it's like too much for them.
Do you think a guy can become bad? Like you were not like that before?
I find it difficult to imagine that you never saw a sign, even a
you
single
were like
sign.
that before.
Yeah.
It's just maybe I wasn't around enough.
She even discovered, because he had said he was a pilot, she discovered this whole 10 years he has never been a pilot.
Stop!
Yeah. He would just leave. He says that he's gone flying. He even has pilot uniform. Pilot uniform. Kumbe, he just goes and spends time at some garage somewhere near their place. Then comes
what does he make money? Where does he make money?
In the garage.
Stop.
Yeah. So he, in the beginning, he had never wanted to tell her that Kumbe, his work is just a garage. He just owns a garage. Which
and you kept it up for 10 years?
Yeah, imagine. But for 10 years, somebody has never asked, let me come with you to the airport. Let me see you fly.
Anyway.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Do you have a last one?
Okay, last one.
Or should we wait when we're eating the nini?
The brownie. Does it deserve to see us eating a brownie? No brownie, you need to eat it ugly, eating it. No time for Nini here.
And the ice cream.
Okay. Question. Calling marriage just a piece of paper is completely untrue.
First of all, you are bitter.
You are waiting at the tip of your tongue.
You're a bitter person.
Yeah.
You're actually a bitter person because you maybe you have not gone through the entire process that it takes in especially Kenya to get married, and so you think it is just a piece of paper, but it is not.
Actually not.
Yeah, there is situations that I am in where I can speak for Martin, where you would never be able to do that. As who?
Yeah, exactly. As
without your piece of paper. As who? And the only reason that I can do that is because of cows. It's not even the paper.
It's true. Me, it's because of the commitment made before God. So for a man to have stood before a whole crowd of people, in front of God, in front of the law, to commit himself to me, that means something. And I always feel like whenever people are using this argument of like it's just a piece of paper, they always seem angry or defensive or like, I'm like, if you don't want to get married, it's okay.
Don't be mad.
Don't be mad, exactly. But to the people who are married, it's more than just a piece of paper. It's a commitment. It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime together. Like it's his family. If we're not together, like his family will always consider me a part of their family. My family will always consider him a part of. I know. How funny. Actually, I've just remembered a meme that I saw yesterday. Was it you who posted it? No, someone else said that her brother broke up with his girlfriend, so he removed her from the family WhatsApp group.
And people were like, "What? How dare you?"
Yeah, Paul, like, how dare you? Then he's like, now she was like, we all really like her, so now we formed another WhatsApp group, which now we've added her, and he's not there, and that's now become the main family WhatsApp group. I was like, I hope he never finds out because he'll cancel all of you. All of you.
Let me tell you a story about this chick who so they were dating, right? And then he was just like a trash. Just trash. I don't know why I'm looking for a word. He was trash. And his family really adored her. And then they had children. So they had 2 children. And his family adored her. And they kept telling her, when are you going to make this right? Like, go to her family, take cows. Like,
they kept telling him that.
They kept telling him that. And because he's trash, he was behaving in trash-like behavior. Like, he was not doing that. As expected. His own mother took cows to her people. His mother, his uncles, they took cows to her people and they married her. For them.
Oh wow.
Not for him.
That's amazing.
So they built her a house in the compound because it's one of those places where you live together. So they built her a house, and when he would come home from his shenanigans, he would go to sleep in her house, and his mother would tell him, where are you going? As who?
Wow. God,
as
we need more people like that in the world.
You sleep in my house like a child because you have no wife here.
Wow.
Can you believe that? So they made it right for that woman.
What? It's not a dignifying thing to do.
A very dignifying thing.
There are still good people out there in the world today.
Those are good people.
Well, guys, we hope you have learned something about marriage today. And these unpopular, some more popular, some less popular. But please, I'll be camping here on the comment section of this particular
and you know what, don't be
yeah.
triggered. It's not the truth, it's our opinion.
It's our opinion.
It's don't feel bad and don't be triggered. And I always encourage women all the time, don't fight for your right to be abused. Don't fight for your right to live a bad life. Like, what are you fighting? You're fighting for your right to be in a situation that doesn't work.
Why?
Why are you doing that? So go with power, go with grace,
go with power. And go with God, because that's all we need in marriage, right?
Go with God.
Just God.
Go with God. I hope you guys really enjoyed, and I will have Joanne more often because I really like her.
This is such a fun
She
video.
talks a lot, just like me. Follow her on her Instagram. She doesn't post any YouTube anymore, so you can watch her here. Yeah, and if you have any recommendations of what videos that you want us to do together, we will do them. Just put them in the comment section below.
Oh yes.
Don't forget to smash a big thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and subscribe.
Bye. Bye guys, thanks for watching. Mwah.